So we're here with Dr. Stein, Dr. Diane Stein, the founder of Epilepsy Awareness Day at Disneyland. Co-founder. And we're here with the world-famous Sam Downie, all the way from Bristol, England. And Sam is the UK ambassador for Epilepsy Awareness Day. And they are going to give you a little insight on epilepsy awareness in general.
So we'll talk about this, the Epilepsy Awareness Day and 2013. And how did it start? How did it come about?
Great. I was frustrated that there are so many different groups that are promoting their own cause, and it's all good and it's all passionate and wonderful, but we needed an AIDS bike ride or a breast cancer walk. And so the first part of the mission was to find something that could bring the epilepsy world together. And I wasn't into just a ribbon or just a color, and it can't be just a day that's about one person. It has to be something that can reach further.
Okay.
And that can bring any partner who wanted to be part of it together. Now you put that together with the fact that I happen to be in Orange County. One of my families was thanking me for doing work in the clinic with her child, and we really were tight. And she asked what she could give back, and I said, can you ask Disneyland if we can have a day? I wasn't sure Disneyland was going to be the way to have an Epilepsy Awareness Day that could rise above any one thing or one event. I'm not seeking the biggest thing in the world, but it seemed like a good place to start because it wasn't owned by any one group, and maybe then Mickey Mouse could be part of the epilepsy movement.
Yes.
And it also seemed like a great way to stomp stigma, to provide a really fun day, and to have a media voice through viral images of people that are happy in shirts. Not something we're against, not something we're fighting, something we're doing together.
Mm-hmm. And being able to support each other by also asking questions as well, because lots of people, certainly on last year's event and this year's event, started talking to each other. And that's that was also one of the ideas of the shirts. It's got people, families talking to each other from around the world.
That was one of the beautiful things that I did not grasp was going to happen, was the sense of community. There's a TV show that that their theme song was Where Everyone Knows Your Name. And during this day, or a couple days it's going to turn into, not everyone knew your name, but if you were there and you were in purple and it was easy to identify you were one of the crowd, everybody knew why you were there. And there was this, what brought you here? What's your mission today? Or there was a friendliness that I don't see all the time in the world, and that was really cool. And with just a couple shouts, I could get them all to shout together. We went 1, 2, 3, and we got a shout out. It was amazing. It was really fun and amazing.
And you were, Diane, you were really busy during the days and the lead up to the event. And what did you get out of it yourself? What did you learn?
Well, I've gotten out of burnout is one of the big things. That there was a time in my career where I was getting burnt out by seeing patients very quickly. And I love treating epilepsy, and I love seeing how much better people can get. But where I used to work, I wanted to make it all better. I wanted to make the whole system better, and I couldn't have that kind of impact. I don't know why I'm driven that way. I am. And this little thing seemed like a way to start helping to push epilepsy as a cause. And I also love bringing people together. And so I'm really pushing that the Tuberous Sclerosis Complex Alliance is joining, and the Talk About Curing Autism, and the Brain Tumor Foundation, and the Rett Syndrome Foundation. Getting these various groups together on something feels powerful, and it's joyful. And my kids get to have a day at work with Mom. I can't bring my kids to work.
No.
And so it's beautiful on a lot of levels.
And you also learnt from various people of all the organisations. Did you get to talk to them much?
I did get to find out a bit about why each one wanted to raise their awareness, where their passion and their roots come from, what the patients that they serve and the communities they serve get from their organization. And I think that was also joyous for the patients and the families, just the people that came, the doctors also. Adding the expo the day before allowed folks to go around and see what support was out there for them and where they could get education and where they could turn to be part of advocacy themselves, whether they wanted to be part of advocacy for brain tumors or Rett's or Lennox-Gastaut or epilepsy in general. But I learned a lot from each of them.
Yeah.
And learned about their own stories. The stories are powerful.
So how can viewers get involved with Epilepsy Awareness Day?
Get involved with the bigger thing of spreading epilepsy awareness. Tell people around you about epilepsy. Don't be afraid to talk about it. And let's make this a mode for change. I think we sometimes forget that as individuals, we have a power to make huge change. Margaret Mead said it wonderfully when she said that we should never doubt that a small group of thoughtful people can change the world, because, as she said, indeed, it's the only thing that ever has. And my other favorite by her is saying, if you don't think one person makes a difference, try and spend the night in a tent with a mosquito. So I think all of us need to use our humor and our humanity and our personal stories and let them touch other people. And if you don't come to a specific day or a specific event, that's great, but tell people about the various days and events. There's an International Epilepsy Day coming up, and choose causes that are for the greater good, and allow those folks that are really working for you and are passionate to get you behind them. Spread it on social media. And if you do want to come, excellent. Help us turn Disneyland purple, because that will get the media attention. Can you imagine? Instead of a walk or a ribbon, we might be able to turn Disneyland, the original Disneyland that's 50 years old, purple. Maybe that can get people's attention, because it doesn't seem that other things are doing it yet.
No.
We need, as a community and as a society, to realize the huge prevalence of epilepsy, the huge number of lives that are cut short, the huge amount of burden it causes, the stigma, the fear of going out and having a seizure in public, the lack of knowledge of the non-convulsive seizure, which may just look like that. It may just be a little blink or a little... And everybody can do their part with that. You could promote the picture and say, look how cool this is, but I'm promoting it because I want you to know about non-convulsive epilepsy, or I want you to know about epilepsy. This has to start with awareness, and it has to then move on to getting the world enough outraged about epilepsy and the lack of funding and sources and support
research.
And research and the increased stigma of epilepsy, just like there was for breast cancer. People used to say, breast cancer, she's got breast cancer. They didn't say it out loud because it was about, we can't talk about that. Well, we still can't talk about epilepsy. And another campaign I really liked was the Talk About It. So my advice is definitely come and have a day of fun with us and raise awareness with us and help us turn Disneyland purple. But the goal of turning it purple isn't just to have this great day, but it's to get the media to come out and go, look at what happened. We turned Disneyland purple. Nobody does that. And make it the next AIDS bike ride. We have families that were crowdfunding to do it, and they got to all their Facebook friends and all their email contacts and were successful at getting to come through crowdfunding. We had other organizations where they had single donors that said, I want to send people.
Okay.
And we had donors giving 10 tickets each. So there's lots of ways to come. And the expo was free. And that was the day before. But more than that, never feel like because you don't have the money to come or a big voice that you don't have a voice. Everybody has a voice and everybody can make a difference. So in the journal Epilepsia, this is the journal of the International League Against Epilepsy. And in the journal, they're now doing lots of really amazing pieces every time it comes out on social awareness, social action. My Epilepsy Story is one of those that has come together. Every journal, there is a My Epilepsy Story. And the epilepsy story in this journal was Sophie's journey.
So tell me about who Sophie is.
Okay. So Sophie is Brad and Candy Levy's daughter, and she is a ray of sunshine every time I see her. She's just a wonderful, beautiful, accomplished, empathic young woman who 6 years ago had epilepsy that was completely uncontrolled. And when I was doing a talk at a local nonprofit group, which is one of the reasons I'm also so part of getting the support networks to do their thing, her dad raised his hand and said, they say my daughter needs brain surgery for epilepsy. I asked where. They named a very good place. And I said, then you're very, very lucky, because everyone else in this room wants that.
Okay.
He said, they want surgery? I said, they want a cure. And if your daughter has a lesion, she can be cured. And it's the best chance you have. It's not the last choice. It's the best choice. And so her parents, who were so scared of the idea of elective brain surgery, even after failing multiple meds and watching their daughter go downhill and not even really realizing how she was losing cognitive points until they acted, went for it. And we went together and we got them comfortable with the idea of surgery. And then after that, when they'd go to walks to try and give back, and they'd raise funds to try and give back, Sophie would say, Dad, I'm sad for these other kids who can't get the cure I got. More children and more people should be able to get over epilepsy. And they didn't know what to do. Do you just stop taking your child to walks? You don't stop taking them to do advocacy, not if you're the Levys. They still wanted to be part. And so during the time when they were between walks and such, they decided to help build a practice for me and to make sure that the surgery center, UCLA, where they went, could keep helping children. And then they are the ones that put together and co-founded Epilepsy Awareness Day. And so it wasn't just fun because she's a child, because we want to get traumatic brain injury and the veterans and the elderly and everyone else who's at risk for epilepsy also, but we wanted it to be a celebration and a way that Sophie could know she's giving back, because she already knows, if you ask her, that by raising awareness, she's going to help raise the number of children and adults that can benefit from epilepsy surgery and the research that goes into it. She's going into her life now not only unimpaired because of epilepsy and not only not scared of having seizures in public, but knowing she and her family made a difference.
And that's a really good key. And it's making that difference a lot. And that's why people should take notice of and learn more about epilepsy, knowing that it's it affects more people than AIDS and Parkinson's combined.
More people than Parkinson's, MS, cerebral palsy, and muscular dystrophy combined. But in the United States, it gets less than 1% of the funding of all of them combined that I mentioned. It's the second leading cause of life lost from a major serious neurologic disorder. Alzheimer's kills more people, but epilepsy robs life at a young age. And don't get me started on its cause of disability.
So if viewers want to find out more information about Epilepsy Awareness Day, where should they go online to find out more?
www.epilepsyawarenessday.org. And we've got a Facebook page, and we've got Twitter. Right now the Twitter handle is Epilepsy Disney, and we have For Epilepsy Awareness on Instagram, and we'd be happy to take photos and information and stories from others. Just message us on Facebook.
Okay, Diane, thank you for talking to us.
Okay, thank you. Okay.
Okay. Right.
Is that on here? epilepsyawarenessday.org.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's all there. That's okay. We got that. Right.
Okay.
That's it.
Great.